Hey, good evening, everybody. I am Chuck Rogers, licensed professional counselor and licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm Keith Dunn, and I am a network engineer and web designer.
He really is, and he's doing a great job with it. And together, we're Tabletop Coffee.
Yeah, where we are bold and never, ever bitter.
Tonight, we continue with our series on money manners.
Manners management.
I was rocking until
I
that
know
point.
you were doing awesome until that point. Money management.
We continue with our Money Matters series. Part 3, Stop Living Paycheck to Paycheck. Stay tuned, and we'll talk about it.
You know, I think it's important to continue on with this series. We weren't planning on doing so many different
Right.
videos on living paycheck to paycheck, but it's gaining some momentum.
Yeah, it really is. People seem to be really warm to this.
Yeah, they do. And why?
Well, I think it's because people don't know how to keep themselves out of debt. And then, two, once they get there, they don't know how to get themselves out.
I think that's a big problem that people have. And I think that one of the things that you have to look at, it's kind of like if you have a problem with alcohol or smoking or anything else in life, the first thing you have to realize is, I have a problem.
I have a problem with this, yes.
Yeah, I do.
So what would you say, because you really are a good financial guy, if someone is in debt and they have multiple credit cards and it seems overwhelming to them, what would you say they need to do to start getting out of debt?
Well, this is something that I really do agree with Dave Ramsey on. I was doing some reading. I've read through a couple of his books lately, and this is something that I align myself with pretty well, and that is take a look at all of the different things that you owe and go ahead and start paying more towards the smaller debts.
The smallest one.
And get that knocked out so you can take the money that you're paying on that debt and start paying off the next debt that is up from that as far as size is.
Okay, so if I have 5 or 10, whatever the number,
Sure, whatever it is.
different debts that I owe,
Yes.
begin to really zero in and make extra payments on the smallest one, not the
Yes.
one with the largest amount of interest or not the one that's the largest,
Right.
but look at the one that's the smallest.
Yeah, and just start chiseling away and get that one out of the way. Even if you're only paying, $10, $15, $20 a month towards this payment. Just think, once that is paid off, you pay $30 a month or $40 a month, you get that done. Take that money, don't spend it on something else, and then move it up to the next item in the list, in this
the next
case,
list, yeah.
and apply that extra $30 or $40 towards that, and start getting it off the plate.
Yeah, we've actually done this many years ago. I had student loans and a couple
Yeah.
different ones, and we
Right.
were trying to make extra principal payments toward the student loans, but every time we'd send them money, they wouldn't put it toward the principal. They would just put it on the top of the loan.
Ah.
And so the principal wasn't coming down. And so we got frustrated. We went to a local bank.
Okay.
The local bank, I think, loaned us $10,000 or $12,000 at that point to pay off these student loans.
Sure.
And then Kim really took it upon herself to just whack away at the principal. She would go into the local bank and she would put $5 or $10 on the principal.
Okay.
And the people in the bank there got to be so familiar with her. They knew her by name, and they said, "Oh, here comes Kim, or here comes Mrs. Rogers," and she's going to put $10 on the principal of that.
Right.
And it over time began to whittle it down. And a friend of Kim's who knew the situation said, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
And her words were, "Because what's $10? What's
Yeah.
$10? It's not going to make a difference if you just put $10 toward that principal."
Yeah.
But Kim ignored her and just
Sure.
continued to put every little bit of money we had toward that principal. And then what actually happened was there was, I think, $700 or $800 left on that loan. Our neighbors had a tree that had a limb that was over top of our property,
Okay.
and a limb fell into our shed. And our insurance company came out and paid us for everything, and it was more than enough, a little bit more
Sure.
than enough to pay off the rest of that loan. And so we were completely debt free, other than our mortgage at that particular point.
That's
so those, yeah, it
fantastic.
really was. And I
Yeah.
think that's what you've got to do is you've just got to be determined. Any extra money that you have has to go toward the principal of the smallest debt that you have. And maybe this is too much for tonight's video, but I think that a lot of times people don't start this because they're thinking, what little bit I can contribute, it really doesn't
Right.
matter. But you have to really get past that and go, I don't know how to get out, but I know what I can do, and I can do this much. And
That's
I
right.
think that God blesses the direction in which you're headed.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's right.
So don't be afraid to do what you can. Just do a little bit at a time.
Yeah. That's great advice.
Yeah, I hope you liked our content. If you did, would you please subscribe? Because Keith would really appreciate that.
Yeah, be sure and ding that bell so you're notified of upcoming episodes. It won't cost you a single penny.
And make sure to like it.
Yeah, share it with your friends.
Thanks, everybody.
Until next time. Yours looks great.
Thank you.
You know my hat goes with your shirt tonight.
Nah, it's a different color.
Am I wearing my Virginia Beach hat? Isn't that what I'm wearing?
Yes, but
My
it's more
Virginia
blue.
Beach
This
hat?
was more green.
Well, I tell you what, up against my blue shirt, this does not look blue.
There's two different colors of blue.
It's a teal.
Teal. I agree. It's a teal.
It is definitely a teal. And if Lisa saw me walk out the door with this combination, she would say, why? Why are you wearing it?
Kim wore a teal dress to this banquet that we went to one time, so that's how I know what teal is.
That's good. Did she wear a different color that just didn't make sense with the teal? Because that's what I'm doing tonight.